Say, welcome to Hillbilly Hikes.
Welcome to Hillbilly Hikes.
Good job, buddy. Howdy folks, Hillbilly here. It's beginning of February 2018. It's what I like to consider my off-season, if you will. But every off-season I take the time to sit back and review my gear, go over what I used, what I liked, what I didn't like, and from there I'll make any appropriate changes, try to update and upgrade certain things that I feel needed. But anyway, so I guess we're going to take this time to go ahead and look over my gear that I've made all the changes. Everything's pretty well finalized for this year. I've got a pretty strong kit put together, I feel like, and without further ado, let's just dive on into it. Alright folks, just walking out here to the garage so we can have a look at the layout here. Looks like a lot of stuff, but this is actually a combination of all my different setups that I would use, you know, ranging from really cold weather all the way into the summer. So it's got all the combinations here, so I don't carry all this stuff at once, just so you know. But anyway, starting with my backpack here, we're still using the same backpack I've had for I think this is the third or fourth year with this. It's the Osprey Atmos AG50, size medium. I did remove the lid, or the brain as some people like to call it. I have plenty of space in this pack without needing the brain, so I took that off basically right when I got it, just to save that weight, unnecessary weight. The cool thing about the Ospreys is they still have this little flap cover that'll still come over and cover the top and still look nice. Anyway, yeah, this thing's still running strong, still no real wear or tear on it, still extremely comfortable, so I'm going to keep riding with it this year. Let's see here. So one of the, I guess probably the biggest upgrade I made this year was I turned in my old REI quarter dome one that I was using for a few years. Got a lot of good use out of it, but I decided to try something different this year. I wanted to save a little weight and try something new. So I ended up selling that tent, and I bought a Six Moons Designs Lunar Solo, which is kind of a tarp tent hybrid. Uses a trekking pole to set up. I haven't taken it out yet, so I really can't tell you how much I like it. I've set it up in the yard here a few times, you know, just to get used to setting it up, and I feel like I'm going to like it, but only time will tell. But that weighs 24 ounces, so I saved over a pound by switching tents there. For the record, the backpack weighs 3.8 pounds without the lid. I think it's over 4 pounds with the lid. But anyway, we also got the MSR groundhog stakes for staking it out. And nice little piece of chamois for wiping off condensation in the morning, because that is one thing I probably will have to deal with this tent, is more condensation than I had to deal with in a double wall tent. But yeah, so we also got our Z seat laying down here. Use that as a sit pad, kneel pad. Always comes in handy. I really enjoyed that on the trail last year. It was new, so I'm going to hold on to that also. Now my sleeping bags are another big thing that has changed here. Decided to try out the quilts, because I'm a side sleeper and I'm a messy sleeper. I like to sprawl out, kick around, toss and turn. And you know, the mummy bags have always been pretty restrictive. So I decided to switch it up and try out the quilts this year. So got rid of the mummy bags, and the first thing I bought was this, which is an Enlightened Equipment Revelation 10-degree model. It's the 850 fill power down. Haven't used it in the field yet, but I tell you what, just by the eye test and the field test, this thing is wonderful. I mean, it is absolutely I wish I could sleep with it every single night. It's extremely soft, very compressible, very, very lofty. I could tell it's going to be good and warm, so I'm excited to use that this year. I've practiced with it here at the house, just strapping it to my sleeping pad and tossing and turning in it. And it stays in place really well and gives me a lot of room to wiggle. So for 3 seasons, this will be my bag. For winter, spring, and fall, I'll carry the 10 degree with me, make sure I'm good and toasty. And for the summertime, I picked this up off of Amazon. That is a 45 degree quilt, which is designed in the same manner as the Revelation. However, that one is made by Aegis Max, a Chinese company. Yes, I went Chinese on this one. Sorry, guys. But it was $100. It's a 45 degree quilt. Like I say, it's the same basic design as the Revelation. It's 850 fill power down. So yeah, we'll go ahead and use that in the summertime, and saved a lot of weight on sleeping gear this year. I also switched from the Thermarest X Lite over to the X Therm there. Gained a little weight on that, went from 12 ounces up to 15, but that's okay. We also jumped our R rating up significantly. The X Lite is a 3.2 R rating, and this one is a 5.7 R rating, so it's going to be quite a bit warmer for just a couple more ounces. Still got our Sea to Summit Aeros Premium inflatable pillow. Love that thing. It's see if I can find it on my cheat sheet here. Where's my pillow? It weighs 3.1 ounces with a little stuff sack. It's very comfortable. I love it. I used to use the clothes bag as a pillow, but this is far more comfortable, and I won't be switching back. So anyway, moving along. This is my clothing bag, which I think we'll dive into that in a minute, because that's something that's going to vary tremendously by what the weather's like. I got my bear rope here, which is a big carabiner and probably way more paracord than I actually need. This weighs at 7 ounces for hanging my food. Pretty self-explanatory. Good old medium-sized pack towel here. See if I can find it on the sheet. Pack towel weighs 1.4 ounces. I actually use that more for wiping sweat and stuff than I do for actually wiping pots and pans or anything, because I really don't ever cook. I usually just boil water for dehydrated meals. Which brings me over to my cook set, which is something else new this year. The spoon is not new. I've already had that. That weighs 0.4 ounces. Titanium long spoon from Sea to Summit. Love it. One thing I got was the BRS 3000T. Yes, another Chinese job, I'm sorry, but the thing was $6. And if I can get it out of this bag here, I'll show you how teeny tiny it is. It weighs less than an ounce. And I don't know if I can get it out of this bag one-handed. There we go. Look how tiny this thing is. Itty bitty. I have taken this on a couple trips already. Dolly Sods and one other one, but it works great. I didn't have any problems with it whatsoever. Puts off a big flame. It does the job. I have zero issues with it whatsoever. So I went from a 3.7 ounce stove down to a stove that weighs less than an ounce. Another thing I got here was traded my GSI aluminum pot, which was weighed 8 ounces. It was also 1.1 liter, which is way more than I need for myself. And I picked up the Tox Titanium 500 milliliter pot, or 500 or 550 milliliter, one of the two. 500 milliliter. That thing's nice and light. With that stuff sack, it weighs 4 ounces. So we cut the weight of our pot in half as well. It still fits the small fuel canister in it, as well as the little BRS stove. It'll all fit inside there, so no problems. All right, moving along, water situation. I carry 2 1-liter smart water bottles and one big Sawyer bag there for a capacity of about 3 liters. I usually only carry about 1 liter on me at a time, but if I know I'm going to be dry camping or a long stretch without water, I have the capacity to carry 3 liters. I do use a full-size Sawyer squeeze for this, which I don't have on me right now. I actually have to buy a new one. I let my other one freeze, but I will be using the Sawyer squeeze again this year. Moving along, Sea to Summit, this is my food bag. Just doing base weight stuff here, so there's no food in there. That thing weighs 1.1 ounces, I think. Try to hurry this up a little bit for you guys. Electronics bag. Silicone packets to keep things dry. Extra GoPro battery. Wall charger. 20,000 milliamp hour charger. Cord to charge everything. The adapter for my Samsung Galaxy S8, which is what I'm filming on right now, will also be part of my base weight, but that's a little plug adapter. I had switched over from my GSX headlamp, which is pretty big and heavy, to just a cheap, basically dollar store headlamp, because I find myself not really using headlamps very often at all. So I switched over to that cheap, small light. This was probably my favorite item from last year. I got the mini pump for my Neo Air, and I tell you what, that thing is a lifesaver. You finish a long day hiking, you don't feel like blowing up your mattress. That thing does the job for you. Only weighs 2.3 ounces with the batteries in it. And I never switched the batteries last year, so it lasted me a whole hiking season with the same batteries. So going with that again this year. Alright guys, so I'm cutting this clip in here real quick because earlier when I was filming, I totally forgot to go through my miscellaneous bag right here. It's sitting right in front of me, and I forgot all about it. Hi, Bruiser. So anyway, real quick, we're going to go through it. 5.5 ounces total in this bag. It's, like I said, miscellaneous stuff. Bug net. Never had to actually use it, but I like having it. When I don't bring it is when I will need it. Tenacious tape patches. Small mirror. First aids, just band-aids, antacid, Q-tips, Advil. Some backup water purification tablets, just in case my Sawyer decides not to work anymore, which it has done in the past. Real basic first aid kit. Dump this stuff out of here. Extra Ziploc bag because, well, you never know. Toothbrush. Schrade knife, weighs 0.9 ounces. A little bit of duct tape. Comb for my beard mainly. Thermarest patches for my air mattress. Toothpaste. And a very, very small fishing kit, which I like to keep. It's got fishing line. There are some matches in here, some hooks, some thread, needle, and a couple small bobbers. Anyway, yeah, that was my miscellaneous bag, 5.5 ounces. And anyway, now back to where we were. Let's see. Rain gear. Still the same Sea to Summit pack cover I had. Pack cover weighs, I should have organized this sheet better. 3 ounces, I think. Pack cover. There it is, 4 ounces. This thing weighs 4 ounces. It's an extra large pack cover. It goes on and over my pack very easily. And does the job. ULA rain kilt. This thing was pretty cool last year. It was my first year using it. Did a decent job in light rain, not so good in heavy rain. It weighs 2 ounces, and it's also good for covering up, if you're getting condensation on your sleeping bag or something, you drape this over yourself, or use it as a ground sheet, or all kinds of different things. 2 ounces. My rain jacket, I switched over. I had my old Gander Mountain jacket for years. I decided to finally upgrade. This is the Mountain Hardwear Ionic. I think that's what it's called. The Ion or Ionic rain jacket. This thing weighs 10 ounces. I've used that on a couple trips already. It does a pretty good job. I really like it. I'm going to stick with that for a while. Alright, let's see. A couple little extra things I carry on my pack here. This is a water bottle holder for my shoulder strap of my backpack. Got that from a fellow named Justin Anderson on the Backpacking Gear Flea Market on Facebook. Some of y'all may be familiar with him, but he makes amazing products. That thing weighs nothing, basically. I got it on here, but it's just a few grams. Bottle holder. 0.4 ounces is what this thing weighs. This is my phone holder. I clip my Galaxy S8 to my shoulder strap as well for quick access for filming and picture taking. See phone holders on here somewhere. 1.6 ounces is what this weighs. This is my GoPro, or a GoPro knockoff rather. I've been using for 2 or 3 years now. You can see it's starting to get a little beat up. But that thing still does the job, so I still bring it along, use it quite often. Let's see, that thing weighs 2.2 ounces. And it was $100 on Amazon, which is an amazing deal for that. It's a Suku C30. So, yeah, let's move along here. These are things that would vary greatly on the weather as well. We have my Mountain Hardwear fleece jacket. I have my REI 650 fill co-op jacket, hoodless. And then I have my Marmot 800 fill cold weather jacket. Love all 3 of these pieces. We got 19 ounces, 10 ounces, and 10 ounces. In the summertime, I would probably just bring my rain jacket and this fleece. A little bit cooler, I would bring the fleece and this. And then when it's really cold, I would bring the fleece and this bad boy right here. But yeah, it's the Marmot Ama de Blanc REI Co-op 650 fill. And the Mountain Hardwear, I'm not sure the name of it, just a fleece zip up. Love all 3 of these pieces, but like I said, they would vary depending on the weather. All right, so let's get into the last thing here. Clothing. Like I said, this is going to vary greatly. Right now, this load is what I would be carrying in the coldest temperatures I would ever be going at. So we've got everything here. In summertime, this thing would basically be empty. But yeah, it's a Sea to Summit. This bag weighs like 1.1 ounces or something like that. Sea to Summit Ultra Seal dry bag. But first thing, Aegis Max 800 fill power down socks, down booties. I'm going to be wearing these in the coldest of the cold weather to help keep my feet warm. My feet always get pretty cold. So I'm going to combine these with my thick REI wool socks. So in the coldest temperatures, my feet should be good and cozy inside these 2 things. These weigh 2.1 ounces, by the way. These weigh 5 ounces. Z-Packs Possum Down beanie, 1 ounce. Brand new, haven't used it yet. In the coldest of cold weather, we have Black Diamond convertible mittens. Let's see. Mittens are 3.5 ounces. And I also have some merino wool REI liners to go underneath of them, or to use by themselves when it's not that cold. And these things weigh 1.1 ounces. Balaclava, or whatever the heck you call these things. Like I said, I am using a quilt, so although I do have room to tuck my head down inside of it, I will usually not have my head down inside of it, so I gotta have something to keep my noggin warm. So I'll be using this fleece balaclava, 3.4 ounces. Like I said, basically everything I've shown you right here would not be coming with me on warm weather trips. Just some cheap Rocky thermal base layer pants. These weigh 8 ounces. All that base layer stuff is for sleeping. This is my Patagonia thermal weight base layer top for sleeping. I just about got this bad boy on eBay not too long ago. Can't wait to use that. And this is my extra pair of hiking socks. I've gone from the Darn Toughs over to the Injinjis. I've used the Injinjis on a few hikes now. I really enjoy them. They treat my feet better than the Darn Toughs, although I do like the Darn Toughs. But yeah, I'll be wearing a pair of these and then also have a pair of them in my clothes bag. Like I said, summertime, basically the only thing that would be in there, or warm weather in general, would be those. Maybe my sleep socks. And then this stuff would be at home. But anyway, yeah, so with all this stuff, I've written down all my weights and everything, as you can see, figured up base weights and all that stuff. Basically, in the middle of summer, my lightest base weight would be right around 12 pounds. My heaviest base weight in cold weather would be about 17.5 pounds. So, I mean, if it's just a normal spring or fall trip or whatever, I'm probably looking at 14 or 15 pounds base weight, which really isn't much different than what I had last year. So, although I have switched some items and gotten lighter in areas, I've kind of countered that in a couple other areas by getting new items, or like the Thermarest is a little heavier than my old Thermarest. But anyway, that's it, guys. That's everything that I would carry on me. I'll do a separate video about the clothes that I actually hike in, so you guys can see what what layers I'm using while I hike and what boots and all that good stuff. But anyway, yeah. If anybody has any questions about any of this stuff or suggestions or anything at all, you can always hit me up. I'm pretty good about getting back to my people. Yeah, I enjoyed doing another video for you guys. I got a lot of views on the last couple, so I hope you guys get some good information out of this one. And make sure to stay tuned, because I will be having some adventures coming up really soon. I have a 105-mile hike coming up the beginning of April. I'm really excited about. I'm going to do a couple shakedown hikes here a little closer to home to test a few of these things that I haven't tested yet. Make sure I'm going to like them, make sure they're going to work. But yeah, thanks for tuning in to Hillbilly Hikes again. I hope this review was helpful to you. And we'll see you on the next adventure, guys.